All pasta starts with boiling water, but something that you should always do is pre-oil and pre-salt your water. This will add a taste to the plain noodles that you will be able to notice later on when eating your dish. Now, something you always need to do in cooking is taste your food. Here, I taste my noodles for doneness and saltiness. You should be able to eat the noodle on its own without sauce and think the taste is pretty good due to the salt and oil. Once you have reached your desired texture and taste, strain your noodles, removing all water, and proceed to add olive oil or butter depending on the sauce that will follow. Now, once again, salt and pepper your noodles, or add different spices or seasoning depending on the sauce, and you must do this to taste. Don't throw in a random amount of seasoning without tasting it and then end up serving it to find out it is way too salty. Now, when you serve this dish, you would want to use a carving fork. If you do not have one, find a two-prong fork that the two prongs are long, and you want to place it in the pasta against the back of a spoon, and you want to twirl it. This will get all the noodles aligned in a desired way, and you'll be able to use this to place it on the serving dish. Here I use a green plastic plate. Professionally, you would want to use a white bowl, and now you would apply the sauce or extra additives that you want to add to your noodles, but these noodles were not served to anybody. Now that box pasta is taken care of, we'll move on to from scratch. Start by making a well of flour and filling it with eggs, depending on how much you want to make, so 2 eggs made 2 batches, olive oil, and a little salt. Now you'll slowly stir the eggs almost like you are making scrambled eggs, and each time with your fork you will grab a little bit more flour from the side of the well. You want to do this until the flour egg mixture has become pretty goopy and you can no longer mix with a fork. Once you get to this point, as you'll see soonly, you need to get something like a bench scraper, which works the best, or if you do not have a bench scraper, make work with something like a pie scooper. You're looking for something that's metal, has a flat back end, but also has the ability to scrape up the flour and egg mixture that could possibly be sticking to the table, and use this to slowly group the pasta, making it more clumpy into a more doughy texture. Now, you will do this until it's become tacky but not dry. If you overshoot your pasta with flour, you once after rested, you will not be able to roll the pasta out as there will be too much flour. You want to make sure it is tacky but not wet. So now once you have the desired texture, you can start throwing it together to make one final ball where you'll place in plastic wrap and let sit for at least 30 minutes, but desirably 1 hour to let the gluten in the flour relax. Now that it has been rested, you want to flour your surface that you will be rolling it out on and flour the rolling pin, which I did in the previous step, which was not recorded. And now you want to take the slow process of rolling it out. And as you see here, this is by hand and not with a pasta maker, so getting thinner pasta, especially if you overshoot the flour, will be very difficult, which is an issue I ran into. But you slowly roll it out until you have about a rectangle shaped object at your desired thickness. Now cut it into an almost perfect rectangle or square to allow you to make noodles. Once you have it into a rectangle, get it off of your surface and roll it together as seen in the video, and this will allow you to cut it and produce noodles. Now, when you're cutting it, don't just push down. You want to make sure you use a little sawing method too, and this will allow for a cleaner cut. Once that's done, separate your noodles and you can crisscross them. This has no effect on the taste, but it will allow them to not get tangled before you reapply more flour that you will need. Once this flour is applied, you may freeze the noodles or you can cook them straight fresh, as they will stay good in the freezer for up to 3 months and they beat any box noodle you have ever had. Now that you have noodles from scratch, what can you do with them? Some dishes I made were 4-layer lasagna, pasta with Alfredo sauce, pasta with meat sauce, and pasta alla olio. This is a lemon and parsley dish that has a little garlic hint. Some other dishes I did were pasta carbonara. All these dishes are great and are a huge step up from basic box spaghetti with meat sauce, or plain tomato sauce that you get out of a jar. All dishes and sauces in this were made from scratch and will surely blow your mind, your friends' minds, and your dates' minds away with what you can do with fresh ingredients from scratch. This was my senior project. Thank you very much.